What's happening, gamers? It's K-Mega405 live from the 405 where I'm just your regular gamer talking to the intelligent gamers. If you are new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Be so kind to hit that subscribe button, that invisible like button, and also hit me up in the comments. Definitely like to know what you think about the video. And let's just start off because saying these are rumors. Take this with a grain of salt because either one of these situations aren't set in stone. But I found them to be very interesting just by the mere fact that they were on some credible sites, and also a couple of credible people have been saying some of these rumors is it might come true on one of them for sure. The other one, not so much. But the first thing that I seen was reading something from Vanity Fair, and it came about Sony being bought out by Apple. Now, in Vanity Fair, it was basically talking about the movie division from Sony and that Apple was interested in trying to acquire that. But overall, if you're going to try to acquire the movie rights to Sony, why not try to acquire the whole company? And on top of that, there's also been some rumblings from even back maybe a couple of years ago that they were saying that Sony might get bought out by somebody. Now, of course, like I said, this is a rumor, this is a grain of salt. And of course, if you look at the success of what PlayStation is doing, a lot of people think that Sony overall is just doing magnificent. But in all actuality, it's not anywhere comparable to an Apple, to a Microsoft, to a Google or Amazon. I think everybody knows that. But this is what's interesting to me. And take this with a grain of salt. But thinking about having PlayStation being acquired by Apple is more scary than just thinking about PlayStation being pushing their games from Sony. I mean, I've said this from the very beginning when I first started doing YouTube, is that, look, I'm a fan of PlayStation. I'm not so much of a fan of Sony. Look, I own a lot of Sony products, and the customer service is ass. It's just, let's just be real. And I understand that Apple isn't perfect either. I mean, none of these companies are really perfect, but on the customer service aspect, Apple is a hell of a lot better. And look, again, like I said, take this with a grain of salt. I don't personally think that this rumor is true, but how big would that be going down the line with PlayStation being owned by Apple, having that financial backing? I know that there's a lot of those haters or those crazy fanboys that always can't stand when people talk about Microsoft and the money that it's generating, because it all goes down to that money being pushed into the Xbox brand. That's what this is. That's what the whole talk about with Microsoft and how they're doing the things. And this is what's going to be funny, because if this rumor was even remotely true, right, the goalpost would definitely be moved, because then everybody would be talking about Apple's money compared to Microsoft's money, and how Apple and Microsoft, you know, are go head to head, and how much more potent PlayStation would be with having that type of money being backed. Like, can you imagine having, you know, the games that PlayStation has pushed out for the last couple of years, that they be pushing out all different types of titles like that on a continuous basis? That would make any gaming company nervous. So it comes to the question, because I just want to be hypothetical here, right? There are reasons why Sony is not going to E3. There's a reason why they didn't have a PSX. There's a reason why they don't have the games to be pushed out, or they changed their narrative, which a lot of gamers can't stand. How Microsoft has changed their way of waiting to show the game off until it's ready. Maybe PlayStation is using that strategy because they have been living off of that, showing stuff for 3, 4, 5 years, and the people still keeping the hype, while on the other end, Xbox fans, the people that dislike Xbox, they can't do that. They can't do that. So PlayStation, if they say that they're sparse again, just think if they had Apple money behind it, they wouldn't be sparse ever again. They could reach out way further. Now, with the Vanity Fair piece, it was more about the movie division, which would be interesting as well, because then it comes to a point that what Crap Gamer brought up, that he got railroad for, because he made a video saying something about And he talked about it on BGST one time about the Spider-Man situation and that it could become a multi-plat. So if Apple did acquire just Sony's pictures, then that would mean Sony would lose Spider-Man, and Spider-Man would most likely go back to the MCU. So, which would be great for, you know, the Marvel fans out there for the MCU, and then that would also give an opportunity for maybe Spider-Man wouldn't be a exclusive to Sony unless there was some kind of negotiation going there. Like it's a lot of things going on. Something's going on here. You see Microsoft going crazy right now by acquiring studios, by also making all these other big moves, while the new CEO, well, he's not so much new now, but the CEO of Microsoft is going all in on gaming. He's a believer in the gaming. I guess he wasn't so much when he first started, but he definitely is now. And there's something on the horizon. Don't know about the acquirement from what Vanity Fair said, but something is up. And while Sony is not utilizing and using the biggest platform to show off anything, something's going on. Don't know what. And then you have the PlayStation 5 that's got all this. You got PlayStation going balls to the wall with VR, and it's supposed to be a new Vita. With Apple money backing that, it would be a problem. Like it would be a problem for Nintendo and Xbox. There's no doubt about that. But again, I don't think so. I don't think that that's going to happen. I think maybe it might be something with the movie division. But again, take it with a grain of salt. I just think it's pretty interesting. The next rumor, though, I do think that this is real. And this is something that I've talked about for a while. And and if anybody's been paying attention to me and they listen to me, they know that I'm all about the collaboration with PC games and Xbox games. The whole crazy narrative about Xbox has no exclusives because they're on PC is the dumbest talk I've ever heard. But that's fine. Let them keep spinning that. And if the people believe that or not, that's on them. Bless their hearts. But this rumor in regards to where there's a new app, there was a new update on Steam, and it gave the option for Xbox gamers and PC gamers, well, Steam players, to do crossplay, is very, very interesting. And like I said, I believe this. I believe that I've made this rumor quite a few times, and it's gone around. It was a couple of years ago when there was a big rumor that Xbox was thinking about having a Steam app on the Xbox interface, and I was saying I was all for it. I really think that the Scarlett's going to try to implement that. If there's one thing that the smartest thing for Microsoft to do is to combine PC and Xbox together, there's extra games that Xbox gamers can play that PlayStation won't be able to because they don't have they don't have interface or operating system, and it's not as huge conglomerate like Microsoft is with PC. It's the perfect fit. It's the perfect marriage. Now, for the whole rumors about Xbox acquiring Steam, look, I know Steam has got a lot of heat coming with them, with Epic doing what they're doing, and a lot of people seem to be receptive of it. A lot of these big time companies, these publishers, they're getting tired of feeling like they're getting railroaded by paying that 30% to Steam, so they're going elsewhere or starting their own little apps or whatever. So we know Capcom is going to do theirs, and there's going to be a couple of more. So who's to say? I doubt that seriously that Xbox will acquire them, but the partnership makes perfect sense for both. Steam could finally get into that console space that they have been trying to get in for a very long time. They tried to do it with the Steam machine. It just didn't work. They had too many hands in the pot, and it was a good idea to have a different tiers, but they were still too expensive, or they just wasn't good enough and didn't hold up. It was a mess. So if you work with Microsoft and doing that, that would be perfect. Also, if they do have a true partnership like that, doing the crossplay, maybe the people at Steam could help Xbox with their Windows Store finally, because we know that it's going to get overhauled, and we know that they're going to change it. It'd just be the perfect marriage, and it also will impact because of the keyboard and mouse capability, so there really wouldn't be any type of cheating. Of course, you would have to have some regulations and things like that And who's to say that PlayStation, I mean, not say PlayStation fans, but Xbox fans, if they don't want to, as long as they have the options to not want to play with PC gamers or cross-play with them, they should have that option. Vice versa with PC gamers, with console gamers. But that marriage would be sweet and very necessary for the vision that Xbox has been going now, trying to reach out to everybody and to as many players as possible, and also the ability of having the xCloud. And if you have an app on the xCloud to where you can play your Steam games anywhere, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's bananas. The future looks bright for both companies regardless, but with these rumors, man, it's even getting more juicy, and we're not even out of 2018 yet. Everybody have a good one. Peace!